It was a fun NBA free agency, and like always, some of these moves left us wondering, what on earth was this team doing? So in today's video, I'm going through some of the weirder NBA free agency signings and trying to make sense of what these teams were thinking. How's it going, guys? My name is Troy. This is the Half Court Report YouTube channel, and free agency is basically over for the most part. May have a couple minor signings here and there, but the big names have picked their teams, and the NBA, like every year, looking pretty different for a lot of teams. So I wanted to use today's video to talk about some of the signings that I thought were a little strange, a little weird, made me do a double take and think, what are these teams doing by signing this guy? Kind of weird signings in today's video. So if you like these types of videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like this video. We are close to 10,000 subscribers on this channel. When I say we, I mean me, because I'm the only one doing it. But it only takes a second to like this video, and it tells YouTube that you're enjoying this type of content, and it will tell other people to watch this type of content as well. So with that, let's get into today's video, weirdest free agent signings of 2020. First guy I want to talk about is Malik Beasley, who just re-signed with the Minnesota Timberwolves. New contract, 4 years, $60 million. Minnesota, what are you doing with this weird signing? That is a wild overpay for a player like Malik Beasley. $60 million over 4 years. And yeah, I understand that Minnesota already gave up a first-round pick to acquire Malik Beasley at the trade deadline this past season, but I don't think that means they should just double down on that mistake and give him a long-term contract, which I think is a little bit too rich for what he's worth. Remember, before coming to Minnesota, Beasley had never averaged more than 11 points a game in a season. And yeah, Beasley is a good shooter, he's good in transition, but he's a little bit shaky on the ball. His defense is a little bit iffy as well. And Minnesota, they just spent a #1 pick on Anthony Edwards, who plays the same position as Malik Beasley. And did I mention that Beasley is facing 2 felony charges from a run-in that he had during the offseason? So all in all, I feel really bad for the Minnesota fans. This next signing is Mason Plumlee, the middle Plumlee brother, to the Detroit Pistons for 3 years and $25 million. I've had a few days to think about this signing, and I still think it's a terrible signing. It's a weird signing, does not make sense to me. So make sure you check out my video on the Detroit Pistons that I did a couple days ago, where I go more in depth on the Plumlee signing and other signings. So when you're a rebuilding team like the Pistons, any extra money that you fork over to a player like Plumlee, I think has the potential to handcuff you down the road when you are actually ready to sign some players that can help you win. So Plumlee isn't going to move the needle for the Pistons. So my question is, why waste the cap space on a player like him? Yeah, he's a big guy, he can handle the ball, he can pass a little bit, his defense is all right, he can score when he gets close to the hoop, but he is a one-position player. You can't play him at the 4. You really can't play him probably more than 25 minutes per night. I think he's mainly a backup at this point in his career. And does he fit with the roster? Because you're still trying to develop Sekou Doumbouya. You're trying to develop Isaiah Stewart, who you just drafted. Blake Griffin needs some minutes as well. I don't know how much this makes sense with this roster. Completely unnecessary to make this Plumlee signing so early in free agency and for the amount of money that you gave him. Next player I want to talk about is Montrezl Harrell, who has moved on from one LA team, the Clippers, and has signed with the LA Lakers for 2 years and $19 million. So at face value, you think, okay, Harrell is a good player. He just won 6th Man of the Year, really good bench player, but I think he's a bad fit with the Lakers. Here's why. Because do you remember in the playoffs when the Lakers really didn't play JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard too much, and instead they chose to surround Anthony Davis with floor spacers? That was really successful for the Lakers, right? Because, it ended up getting them a championship. But if you're looking for floor spacers, Montrezl Harrell is not the type of player that you want to get. He has only made 5 threes throughout his entire career. His 5 seasons in the league, only made 5 threes. So he has averaged 1 made three-pointer in his entire NBA career. A floor spacer, he is not. That's why I think this is a very, very weird signing. I think he could actually end up even hurting the game of Anthony Davis when they're on the floor together, because I don't think Anthony Davis can play to his full potential side by side with a player like Montrezl Harrell. All that being said, I don't think you'll be able to play Harrell big minutes in a playoff series. He also doesn't help too much on the defensive end. Remember, he's a bit undersized for that position. Also, the Clippers were in no rush to bring Harrell back. So that tells me they've seen enough of him. They know the type of player he is. And the Lakers said, we want to sign him. The Clippers were saying, hey, fine with us. Have at it. Next guy I want to talk about is Jonte Porter, who just re-upped with the Memphis Grizzlies. 3 years, $5.8 million. So this is a weird signing because it's a good signing. It's one of those, it's weird, but it's good. Let me explain. So as a refresher, Jonte Porter is the younger brother of Michael Porter Jr., who just had a nice season with the Denver Nuggets. Very much like his brother, Jonte was injured in college. At one point, he was ranked number 11 by ESPN. He completely fell out of the draft. He was signed late last season by the Memphis Grizzlies as a free agent. He projects as a stretch 5, kind of that Brad Miller, Mehmet Okur type of player, maybe kind of similar to what Brook Lopez is now. Jonte Porter, also a great passer, makes good reads with the ball, really nice court vision, and he's a good playmaker who actually averaged more assists than turnovers in college as a freshman, which is pretty interesting. He's not really a rim protector, but he does play good team defense, good ball handler, puts the ball on the floor, and elite basketball IQ. He sets good screens, finds the open man. Perfect signing for what a small market team like the Grizzlies need to be doing. And that's why I think, yeah, this signing is weird. It's unconventional because he's yet to play a game in the NBA after being signed last year. They decided to re-up him on a 3-year deal. So weird signing, but a great signing. Jonte Porter. And finally, this next weird signing is weird just because it hasn't happened yet. I'm talking about Hassan Whiteside, most recently with the Portland Trail Blazers. I thought this guy would be one of the first players signed in free agency, but he has still not been signed. So why is that? Because he just averaged 15 points, 13 rebounds last season, led the league in blocks, shot over 60% from the field. This dude is huge, great size, tons of talent. He is in his early 30s now. Maybe that's turning some teams off. He's also developed a reputation as a poor defender and a me-first kind of player. He also doesn't pass the ball a lot, doesn't stretch the floor a ton. But still, I am surprised that nobody has signed him, at least even to the minimum, because there are some teams out there who need that stopgap starting center or maybe a really high-level backup. The market just seems to be drying up so quick for Hassan Whiteside. I don't get it. It's weird. Somebody sign this man right now. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think of these off-season signings. Which ones did you think were the weirdest? Which ones did you think, why on earth is my team or this team signing this player? Let me know in the comments. If it's your first time here and you're not subscribed already, make sure you do so. We are closing in on 10,000 subscribers, and you gotta like this video as well because it tells YouTube to promote this video to other people when you do, and I would definitely appreciate it. Hey, that's gonna be it for today's video. My name is Troy with the Half Court Report, and I'll see you next time.